You put your right leg in, your right leg out, in, out, shake it all about. You do the hokey cokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. All together now. Whoa, the hokey cokey. Whoa, the hokey cokey.
Welcome back to the Positive Poetry Podcast, everyone. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to be talking about meditation and money. Awesome, right? Everybody likes money. We'll talk about that second. We're going to talk about meditation first. I prefer a very specific kind of meditation. I should lead with that. There's many different types of meditation. I would recommend starting with some kind of guided meditation. Mindful meditation is extremely popular. We've got many different kinds. Kundalini is one. I think that's got to do with like truth and the nervous system, things like that. The chakras, if I'm not mistaken. Anyhow, many different kinds. We're going to talk about one that came from Hawaii, and that is Ho'oponopono. I mentioned it last time, right? It's going to be, I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. It doesn't really matter who we're saying that to, just, that we're feeling those things. I'm really drawn to this in part and mostly because of Dr. Ihaleakala Hugh Len. He's a Hawaiian therapist. He cured an entire ward of criminally insane patients without ever meeting any of them in person. He coins it self-identity through Ho'oponopono Sith. I'm a Star Wars nerd, so that really hit home with me, right? The Sith, right? Or whatnot. Opposite, though, right? More on the good end of the spectrum here. Excuse me. I love how he mentions everything's sort of rooted in intonation. I've got a clip here. I'd like you to just watch it, take it in, let me know what you think.
Perhaps you could start out by explaining a little bit about this idea of 100% responsibility for oneself and an entirely different idea of what the self is according to the system that you speak about.
Well, I think Shakespeare said it better than I. If you read Sonnet 146, Shakespeare says, "Poor soul." And so Shakespeare is saying the basic idea is that there are tragedies in our lives because we don't take a look at where the origin of the problem is, and it's always in self. So the tragedy being in life is that we're clueless and we repeat the same thing over and over and over again. And so when I work at Hawaii, for example, when I worked at Hawaii State Hospital, working with people killed, raped, and murdered people, I had to ask the question, what is going on in me that I am experiencing this? I'm experiencing a patient being violent, I'm experiencing staff going crazy, that sort of stuff. And so having to take 100% responsibility for that. What's going on in me that I'm creating this experience? And so I just do this cleaning, and the cleaning, the Ho'oponopono is about going into the self, and specifically into the subconscious, and where the data is, and since everything is run by information, so that the information in my subconscious is dictating to me what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing. It's like in Shakespeare's Tempest, where Miranda says, "Oh, woe is me to see what I see." So Miranda has this insight that she's only seeing with data. And so it is with me, and so it is with all of you. And so I just work on the data in me that I experience as, quotes, the other person. So if I see you as being crazy and goofy, it's only my experience of you. If I erase that, you can't be that way. Not possible.
Right, so he's extremely, how do I put that? Confident in this whole idea that experience is in the mind. Out there, quote unquote, doesn't exist here, and it's a concept. Out there is a concept that seems to absolve us of responsibility, and so we are responsible, like he said, for everything that we think and everything that comes to our attention. interesting. And so we said again, so we're going to feel it. And it's those 4 steps. So that repentance, the sorrow for causing bad things, forgiveness, remember the remorse from step 1 while we're doing that. The gratitude, thanking whatever it was that just forgave you. And love, there's really nothing as powerful as this, and take it to your body, to God, to the air, to the house that you live in, to the challenges that you experience, and mean it. Start taking responsibility. Stop blaming anything else. Start changing yourself, and then the world. Right? It's a wonderful thing. Ho'oponopono. I'm gonna be doing Ho'oponopono style meditation, hard and heavy. Right? No. Try to do it daily. I'm gonna try to do it daily. It's something that I want to give to myself. Those feelings. I made a list. Instead of a to-do list, it's a to-feel list. And these are some of the things that I want to allow myself to experience those emotions, right? So I know that that's going to be good for me, and I hope that you guys join along if that's a goal for yourselves as well. Let's move on over into money. Some of these things did blend over, and I'll include some link to begin you on. I think it's like 9-part video series for that experience. If you want to follow up on the research of Dr. Kala Hugh Lenz, he was getting interviewed by a few psychologists, I think. So check that out if you'd like. That, like I say, I'm going to include some links in the description. Money won't make you happy. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard that money won't make you happy? I was scrolling through my news feed, and Grant Cardone popped up, and he said that money won't make you happy is a phrase that's often said by people without much in order to justify themselves their decision that money doesn't matter. Long story short, they gave up on it. So this is an interesting concept, I thought, right? So I clicked the link or whatever it was. I found myself reading this article. I'll include the link to the article. Once you come to the page, he immediately offers you a PDF file. I'm going to go through that too. You can download it. Be sure and click his link. I don't get paid for any of the links that you click through my stuff yet, and when I do, I'll let you know. Cool? All right, so this one was called 10 Things Money Can Buy. And I was like, hey, cool, let's see, right? And it's got a lot of truth to it, and I really enjoyed reading it. So, number 1, it buys travel. Okay, personal experience for me, I love to travel. I think everybody does, but I want to go to Denver. And so money will make that happen. It buys great food. Another personal example is one of my goals to gain weight. I have done that. I've gained the most weight I've ever gained in my life. Whoop! And I'm going to keep going, right? I mean, it's my goal to hit a certain pound, but I've gained 11 pounds since I started working out at the gym. Awesome. Keep going. So, but great food does cost money. I do know that gaining weight costs money. That's true. So, great food. That's going to cost money, right? So more money, you can make investments. Some investments are just extremely cost prohibitive. I mean, and so making more money to have those opportunities, to have investment opportunities. So making money to make even more money. If you want some ideas for investment opportunities right now, there's apps. There's an app right now called Robinhood. I use it. It's essentially a free broker and for the stocks. And Stash, that's more their proprietary blend of different ETFs that they get from a variety of hosts. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a jangle. I've got a little pitch at the end, but stay tuned, right? Okay, so number 3 would be the ability to give to charities or to family members or loved ones for Christmas gifts and things like that, or holiday gifts and things like that. Number 5 would be comfort. You can get out of, I wrote here, you can get out of the shitty apartment or wherever you're at. that you don't enjoy, and you can get to a place where you're a little bit more comfortable. You can buy comfort. You can buy security, safer neighborhood, safer car. One I liked that he put right in this article is a diamond encrusted bulletproof suit. Wonderful. If you want, you can do that with money. Number 7 is time. You can have that choice to retire. You can buy that time. And isn't that very, very important? You can give time to yourself. Health. You can get access to the best medicine, the best technologies with money. And freedom. It's just going to generally get you freedom. Now I realize that's number 9, so I must not have written down number 10. I apologize for the whole tease there. My bad. One thing that he really mentioned that I really enjoyed was if you hate on anything, it's because you quit. That's super cool. Yeah, and Gary Vaynerchuk has mentioned something similar. Like, if I have time to be negative on social media, what am I doing? My life is in a topsy-turvy direction. I should be focusing on bettering myself, right? Interesting. So, I like that a lot. I'm going to continue to do that in Ho'oponopono. Grant Cardone does mention that, if we take responsibility for everything, then we can sort of move forward and we change. And if we change, then everything kind of changes for us. What can't money buy? He does make a quick short list there, right? Purpose, a better past, that spoke to me. Trust, that spoke to me. Loyalty, that spoke to me. Forgiveness, yeah, right? So those things money can't buy. You're going to have to work on that. We have to work on that. And that's part of what this is for too, right? But it can pretty much buy everything else. That's what he says. I like his attitude about it. He's got a real world sort of view, perhaps. Or something. Definitely glorified money in that particular article. And to go along with it, you get this 10 ways to guarantee your prosperity, right? A little PDF as a bonus, essentially for giving him your email address. Interesting. Okay, so what exactly is prosperity? It mostly is just the absence of worry. That's interesting to me. I think, the opposite of worry is prosperity. That's a wonderful way to put it. It's short and sweet, very simple. So here's 10 ways to guarantee our prosperity, and that is to change our mind, to start seeing prosperity in everything instead of seeing scarcity. Number 2 would be to make the decision to be prosperous then. So instead of saying, I don't need the money, you're going to be saying things like, how can I get the money from that? Number 3 would be change how you talk about it. And, this is a sweet little PDF. You should definitely click the link, get it. It's worth your time. If you're doing stuff like this already, he's the man. I'm just sort of tagging along, learning myself, but this would be worth your while to read. Number 4 is to just increase your income. Perfect. And yeah, it's a very interesting read. Sorry about that. So number 5 would be quit spending money on junk. He's got a few examples here. And then number 6 would be avoid the traps. There is some interesting bullets in there. Buying a house, college, saving money in the bank, 401ks. Calls them traps. Interesting. Why? You should read it. Okay, understand finance would be number 7. So he gives a great amount of vocabulary terms here is cash flow, inflation, good debt, ROI, and tax game. Using the 40% rule, which he's mentioning is just setting away 40% of your tax after income, which sounds a lot like saving money in the bank, doesn't it? So we'll have to look into how all that pans out, right? So number 9 would be only invest in things that produce cash flow or have a 99% chance of appreciation. Number 10 would be look for 6 to 12% returns. Excellent. That's pretty straightforward information aside from the whole save money but don't save money in the bank kind of thing. Maybe I'm not doing it justice by glazing through it like this. You should, yeah. So it deserves a good read through here. Money is important. It can get you an easier, abundant, a wonderful, prosperous situation and lifestyle. So that's something I'm after, and that's something I'm going to make happen. So I also have got a pitch, like I said, mentioned. I have a company now, Dakota Digital Solutions. So be sure and check them out online if you have any digital problems. DakotaDigitalSolutions.com is your place to go for. If you need a website, if you want a landing page made, if you want somebody to handle your reputation online, being your social media, I can manage your social media platforms. Like, we can get you a YouTube channel going like this, build that emotional connection, relate with people. You could tell your story, create a brand story. We could do an Instagram account. We could do Twitter account, a wonderful customer relations platform, right? We can do Facebook, but we can do it even better through their business platform. We can go through Snapchat a little bit, TikTok. There's many things on in terms of social media that we can tackle together, but I can also help you with email blasts and particularly email marketing. So I've been studying this a little bit, quite some time now at this point, almost going on roughly 8 months here. So, sign up with me, check me out. I'm worth the time. I'm new. I can give you my full attention, my full focus, and you talk to people that actually know me, and I am a very effective person. So, Dakota Digital Solutions, local, effective, and guaranteed. If you don't like any service of mine, I will give you your money back guaranteed. So, check it out, DakotaDigitalSolutions.com. I did write a wonderful poem for today's episode. This was written, I suppose, out of frustration. I'm not really sure here, but I need to enter in some of the spaces. Yeah. There we go. There we go. And I appreciate everybody listening. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for next episode is going to be on emotions and cryonics. If you're not familiar with what cryonics are, I think it's just a condensation of the word cryogenics, but my computer describes it as, I found this in the dictionary here, cryonics, the practice or technique of deep freezing the bodies of people who have just died in the hope that scientific advances may allow them to be revived in the future. Interesting. This was brought to my attention by a friend. She's super excited to be talking about this. I've kept her on the hook for a little bit too long now, I suppose, but she wants to talk about these kinds of things. So anybody that wants to generate any kind of activity, this is some very interesting stuff that, why aren't we talking about that? That's... I'm glad. In one of my poems, I had mentioned something like feeding each other to the dirt, or many different ways to deal with the bodies and stuff like that. But cryonics is something that we have the technology to do now, and that's an interesting concept. So stay tuned for that and the emotions, human emotions, next time. This place can't wait for me to leave. I just can't stay awake and breathe. However did it come to be that love is our own enemy? I'm guessing that it's straight up greed that broke up the sweet harmony and left us shattered smithereens of faded distant memories. Memories of distant times, supple rhythms, simple rhymes. I'm going out of my fucking mind, typing all the goddamn time. Tick-tock. Who's there? Another ghost? Another scare? Just the wind through nature's hair. Did you see her beauty? The painted words of scenes serene leave me breathless in a stream. My streamlined consciousness can rewind my goodness and leave me at the top of my game.